There we go. Now, at the risk of making another culturally ignorant statement, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for it ahead of time. I don't know if the Talon are a fictional race of people that they made up just for the sake of this game, or if that's a particular tribe that, like, was in actual existence. I'm not sure how much research the developers themselves did on the history of Mesoamerica in making this game. I would like to think they did a lot, you know, because it's always fun to actually learn stuff from games, but they might decide to go with a purely fictional route just to keep from stepping on any toes. Alright. Let's break the seal and bring some ruin on our brothers. Alrighty, we're now entering the ziggurat proper. Environments are actually very nice. I'm very pleased with this. I was kind of nonplussed from the get-go. I just didn't see anything that really took my breath away, but this big pyramid deal is pretty nifty. Okay. So now we have underwater levels. Cool, cool. Interested to see how this works out. As is usually the case when I do a gameplay on Underplayed, I'll start a game completely, totally blind, because I like giving you that first impression experience. I think it's important that we as reviewers kind of pay attention to whatever the player's first impression might be, you know? But often afterwards, after I've gotten into the game a little bit, I'll look up a little bit more about its development history to understand a little bit more of the context around the game, you know? I've just lowered this water. I don't know if I take fall damage in this game yet. We're about to find out. Okay, no fall damage. That's good to know. Nice. Anyway, the ball is no exception. I started out totally blind without really any knowledge of its development history or anything. And in the hiatus between our last installment and now, I did take a little bit of time to look up, just do a cursory Wikipedia walk, you know, and find out some of the history surrounding the ball. And in fact, it was made by Swedish developers, which I was surprised by. Okay, there goes my ball. So here's water now. This. Just a little alcove. Not sure what the purpose of this alcove is. Unless we do have an oxygen meter and I just can't see it. And not only was it developed by a Swedish team, which again I was surprised by. I expected it to be an American team, actually. But it was actually a very small development team as well. If I'm not mistaken, only 3 people worked on the original proof of concept mod that this is based on. So that's great, seeing you know, small development teams put together relatively complex games. Okay. Starting to see some larger environments that will hopefully mean some more complex puzzles. It's always good. We like to see a progression. You know, definitely want to see a difficulty curve in a puzzle game. Ooh. Heroes, come here, ball. I need your help. Okay, deflecting uses as a shield. Yeah, perfect. Alright. doorway that we need to get to. Come on, ball. Another chamber with a ball switch. Okay. Typically, my approach to puzzle games is to just I might walk into a new puzzle room and look at it very briefly, but for the most part, I like to just throw myself into it and see what happens. Aha! So we have now flooded the room so that all the arrows just go into the water here harmlessly. It's nice. Okay. And that human switch that I just stepped on opened some lower track here. I'm curious if I can actually pull the ball up to me in the water, or if it's so heavy it'll just stay on the ground. Yeah, it looks like it'll only go on the ground, actually. It's lowering our water pool here. Fun stuff. These little monkeys are kind of creepy, though. Especially, when you see them from... Oh, it kind of startled me there. When you see them from the distance and you're not sure if is it a monkey, is it a skeleton, what is that? Aha, so this is my way to open the doors. Very cool. Sounds like something is roaring deeper down in here. Ooh, nasty. When you walk through a spider web, it actually leaves a trace of the web on the edges of your screen, and all these little spiders skitter across. Lots of corridors, lots of corridors. I'm not really sure... I don't have any sense of direction so far. It'd be kind of nice if we had a map to look at for reference. But that might make some of the puzzle and navigation elements too easy. Hey, what's this? Some ancient artifact that I should definitely not mess with? Let's mess with it. Ah. I see the children building new toys, discs that take flight when spun. I see men boring holes in the hardest rock, harvesting powders from beneath the world, powders that ignite and rain destruction. I only imagine Playlock capable. Metals make base for our mortar. The Altetl surface murmurs and streams. Water spouts in every home. We are no longer forest people. Okay, so we have a little bit of a clue to the story here. It's not really surprising, given that this game had such a low-budget, small development team, but it looks like they have obviously opted for the good old documents scattered around everywhere method of story delivery. There goes the little buggy boos. And I've talked about this a little bit in some other games that I've played through on UnderPlayed. that use this method of storytelling, specifically like Dragon Age. Dragon Age has a ton of the story that it delivers through optional readable content, you know, like codex entries and in-game books and such. And my jury's kind of, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think that text delivery of story can be effective, especially if you are working on a budget, you know. But I don't know that it's the answer for every storytelling situation. There's a rope here. I want to bring the ball across, but I'm afraid it's going to get in that ooze. Well, that's a good thing. I don't want to get covered in oil and drag it through the fire. And looks like I need to set the ball on fire and have it touch that rope, and then it'll blow up that bomb-looking ball up there. But I don't know. I need to have my timing a little better figured out here. Alright. First of all, drop the ball in the oil. Alright. Make sure it's good and soaked. Well, I'm a little confused, to be honest. It seems that every time we push the ball through the fire to light it, it just burns all the oil off before it can reach the rope. So I'm trying to figure out if my timing is just off, or if I'm solving this puzzle the wrong way. Alright, let's try this. Go get it all soaked. Come on, ball. Oh, that's interesting. Well, now I've got a flame trail going back to the oil spill. Okay, I think I know what I have to do then. Alright. So we have to get the ball all soaked in oil, and then we have to paint a little oil trail with it to the fire. That's what it's telling me. There we go. Now we lead those ball back to the fire. Aha! That's pretty clever. Fun stuff. So this game reminds me a lot, actually, of another game that we played through recently, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Now, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter had a lot stronger story emphasis on it. There's a lot more narrative that was taking place there. Here, it's just pretty much a puzzle game with a kind of creepy setting. But something that these two games have in common is the idea that neither of them is going to hold your hand. They kind of just drop you into a particular scenario, and they'll give you basic information on how you control your character, but for the most part, just leave it up to you. And I think that's more or less well received, depending on the player himself, or the player herself, you know, whoever happens to be playing the game. Some people are very pleased with that playstyle. They like figuring things out for themselves. Some people get very frustrated with that playstyle, where they feel like, okay, there's not really any challenge here, other than me just trying to figure out what the heck I'm supposed to do, you know? Some people feel that the challenge should come from solving a puzzle rather than figuring out the rules to a puzzle. If I had to place myself in one camp or the other, I'm probably in between those two, but in general, I like knowing the parameters of a puzzle before I get to it. You know, I like knowing what I can do, what I can't do, instead of just, as before in that previous puzzle, trying to figure out how the heck I use the oil in the fire. You know. So we just activated some sort of counterweight. Okay. Not totally certain what that's done for us. Unless it opened the gate or something. Nah, that's what it is, yeah. Come on, ball. What? Is that a little train that just went by? What? What? Okay. So there's trains now. This is the thing. Just trains. Okay. Oh, hey. Monster. Well, let me out here. Alright. So the ball is not only our puzzle-solving tool, but also our weapon. That's fun. Oh, here's another monster. Oh, they dodged it. Oh, they dodged it again. There we go. Squish him. Squish him flat. It's interesting. I'm not really sure how I feel about this ball-based combat. It's kind of clunky. I like what they're trying to do here. I like the idea of using my puzzle weapon also as my combat weapon. That's fine. Alright. Is that all the nasties taken care of? I think so. Got 79 health. I'm not sure what the status of this game is as